Here we go on our Wednesday Orange and Brown Talk. We are recapping day one of the NFL Combine. It was Tuesday. We heard from Andrew Berry, Dan Labbe, Kay Cabot, Scott Patsko, Ashley Bastock. Let's get to it. Look, Andrew Berry doesn't say a lot, so we're going to try and pull out what we can. Some lessons, some takeaways. Scott, you get to go first.
My takeaway is that instead of studying journalism in college, I should have studied linguistics or how to gauge tone of voice or just something that has to do with trying to figure out what a guy like Andrew Berry is really saying and what he means. Because we've done this every year since he's been here. And really, it's like common practice at the Combine because GMs and coaches come out and talk before a lot of things are going to happen. So they can't say anything. You hear a lot of these terms like, we're working through it, or the next couple of weeks are going to be, important as we, as things develop, things like that. And Andrew Berry said some of those things today as well. So it was everything we've come to expect from Andrew Berry. And I know that your takeaways are going to have a lot to do with reading between the lines on some of the things he said. But I just come away from this wondering, like, is this really the best way to do it? To have them talk 2 weeks before the beginning of free agency, the beginning of the new league year, when they can't really say much of anything about anything.
Well, I would say that my takeaway is, is the fact that he acknowledged what we all have pretty much known and what we have done series on this offseason, and that is that they really do have to explore all available opportunities at quarterback and pretty much every position. But we do know, and he didn't shut the door on it, and he can't shut the door on it, the fact that they do have to explore all of their options. They have no choice because, of course, Baker's going into the final year of his contract, coming off the worst season of his career. Nobody knows what the future holds with him. And so they have to be planning for their future. There are not a lot of options, but I think this pretty much confirms for all of us that, they have to. Hey, if there is a Mitch Trubisky coming available in free agency, they have to explore that. They have to do their due diligence on him and anybody else that might come available.
Ashley, what do you have for us?
Well, this was kind of something definitive that Andrew Berry did say about guys who are on the roster. He did say he expects Jack Conklin to come back and make a strong return, which obviously Mary Kay reported that a couple of weeks ago through Jack's agent, Drew Rosenhaus. But the other interesting tidbit in there was he did say that Jed Wills is their left tackle. And obviously there's been a lot of speculation about whether or not they would consider moving Jed Wills over to the right tackle spot. That's what he played in college, and he obviously struggled a bit more this year after suffering that ankle injury. But the way Andrew Berry was asked the question was, is that a contingency plan if Jack Conklin is not ready on time, if his rehab doesn't continue progressing the way that it sounds like it has? And he said, that is not a part of that plan. Jed will be our starting left tackle. So that was very, I think, definitive with those two guys who are on the roster. But then obviously he gets asked about JC Tretter. We know that cap hit is coming potentially, and there's been some speculation about that. And he did not say definitively one way or the other, just kind of gave an answer about JC Tretter's years of service here in Cleveland. So those were all the offensive line tidbits we got today.
Okay, so my takeaway, we're going to go with Jarvis Landry. This is kind of the second answer that I've heard from Andrew Berry, where it just felt like, hey, thanks for everything, Jarvis. We'll see you. We appreciate it. He used the word grateful today, talked about him pretty specifically in the past tense. I mean, that's not, he's done that before, but even with JC Tretter, he was kind of like, he's played at a high level and we expect he'll continue to play at a high level, even though it's specific about where he would be playing. It just felt, Mary Kay, very much like a, hey, thanks, Jarvis, but we'll see you. I just couldn't help but feel like that again today, listening to Andrew talk about it. And I know that you reported earlier this week that they're going to try and work out a renegotiation of that contract. But at least right now, as we're recording this, it just feels like that agreement is going to be hard to come to.
Yeah, I think it will be kind of difficult to reach that contract agreement because, it does really come down to the money. Now, if they can make the money make sense for him and he doesn't feel like he's walking away with much less than what he's worth, then I still think there's a chance. But right now, I'm probably 70-30, 70 gone, 30 back. I'm in never say never mode still, because they really haven't had the conversation yet where they sort of put their cards on the table. And I also feel like this is one of those situations where there are some unanswered questions. I mean, who's the quarterback going to be? What's the outlook for other receivers coming onto the team? So there are a lot of things that they will need to discuss when Andrew Berry sits down with Jarvis Landry's agent here at the NFL Combine.